Number of car accidents is increasing annually, and heart disease is the #1 leading cause of death in the world. To minimize the chances of our friends and families being a part of these tragedies, our group thought of a revolutionary product. We introduce you to Cicer, an app that will save many people's lives. My name is Minji.
I'm Kiana.
I'm Tim.
And I'm Michelle.
The problems we are solving are car accidents related to sleep-deprived driving and heart disease. One day, I saw a documentary which was about Indian truck drivers' poor working condition. And I got to know that they have inadequate amount of sleep and they spend most of the time on the road. Thus, car accidents due to drowsiness happen a lot in India and other developing countries. Now, this is applicable even to the developed countries. In North America, drowsy driving causes 4.5 million car accidents every year. Now, sleep-deprived driving is a crucial issue that should be dealt with, and these numbers here shows us the urgency. Just in BC, an average 3 people die and 81 get injured due to drowsy drivers every month. And also, it is known that 1 hour less than your normal sleep can raise the risk of a crash. Now, moving on to the second part of the problem, which is the heart disease. We have found out that every 7 minutes in Canada, someone dies from a heart attack or a stroke. So just imagine, if a driver suffers from one of these injured illnesses, this can cause more people to die because the unconscious driver might hit other cars as well, or it can even hit the pedestrians. So clearly, we can say that we are mostly exposed to danger outside of our homes.
So to prevent accidents caused by health-related issues, we came up with Cicer. So Cicer is an app that detects if the user is having a heart attack, stroke, or is falling asleep while driving through their heartbeat.
So Cicer is an app that is on your smartwatch, and it measures your heart, your pulses, and it recognizes if the driver is falling asleep or having a heart stroke or any kind of other health issues related to their pulse. And it is connected to your car's driver assistant program through Bluetooth connection. And through the Bluetooth connection, what we're trying to do is when the driver is falling asleep, we will set the alarm. The alarm will go off, and the watch will strongly vibrate on the driver's wrist. However, in the case of a heart stroke or the driver has gone unconscious, after 5 seconds, the watch will turn on the hazard signals through the Bluetooth connection, access the driver assistant programs, gradually slow down the car and bring it to a complete stop, and contact the emergency so the driver can be rescued right away.
So we were able to gather data through a customer survey based on 4 main topics: sleep, income, driving, and health. So we discovered that the less sleep that the participant got, the more likely they were to purchase our app. We also found this to be true for people that suffer from health issues, specifically heart attacks. On average, 4 out of 5 people said that they would download our app.
So our monetization strategy is through monthly membership payments. Upon downloading our app, every customer will pay an initial fee of $30 for their registration. They can also choose to either pay annually or monthly, and they will be charged on their credit cards, and they would also input their average hours of driving and their vehicle model. For long-hour drivers, they will be charged $16.99 a month. For moderate-hour drivers, they will be charged $11.99 a month, and short-hour drivers will be charged $9.99 a month. We are hoping to grasp a large market share with the low cost in the beginning and gradually increase it as we go along. And as a bonus, if our customer refers our app to a friend, and the friend registers, they both will get a credit of $5. With this strategy, we are hoping to get our app to more customers. And although we are focusing on a very specific market of owners with cars equipped with driver assistance program and smartwatches, we have a huge market for us. In just 2017, more than 68 million cars were sold globally, and it is estimated that 16% of these cars were equipped with driver assistance program, which is capable of what we want to do with our app. And focusing on US and Canada, just from January 2018 until today, over 5 million cars were sold in just US and Canada, and more than 45% of these cars are equipped with the driver assistance programs. And in 2017, around 75 million smartwatches were sold worldwide. Combining these two markets together, we are able to generate a revenue of $77 million in just Europe, Canada, US, and China. And in just Canada and US, we are able to generate a revenue of $61 million.
Okay, so we have estimated the cost of starting Cicer, and we have predicted that it will cost around $3.3 million. A large sum of this money will go towards developing the app itself, which will cost around $1.8 million. $550,000 will be going towards marketing and advertising and ensuring that we reach the appropriate audience as well as growing brand awareness. Next slide, please. Now, we have found a very similar product called Cicer, the first anti-sleep watch. And Cicer is a bracelet that will constantly emit a electrical impulse through the user's wrists and to their brain to help them keep them awake at all times. However, Cicer is currently sold out, and they were originally selling for $79. However, since Cicer is an app, we will never sell out because we are available anywhere and at any time. If you also have another smartwatch, such as an Apple Watch, that you want to use and Cicer at the same time, you would have to wear 2 watches consecutively, which is very inconvenient. Cicer also needs to be manufactured and shipped to the customer, which is also very time-consuming and expensive.
Lastly, our future. So as a company, we would like to make a difference in the world for the better. Once we are able to establish consistency in our revenues as well as in the market, we would like to develop our own app, our own bracelet. Once we are able to develop our own bracelet, we will be able to target people in the developing world. So this will allow us to reach our objective of reducing the number of car accidents related to sleep-deprived driving as well as health issues.
Great. So if interested, please subscribe to our email, cicer.pulse@gmail.com. And thank you so much for listening. We hope to see your app or bracelet on your wrist one day.
What's the purpose of the $30 initial fee, and do you think that will limit the initial subscribers?
So the $30 initial fee is we calculate it from their registration, so getting their record started and their membership started with our program, and then having our app installed to their program. That's what we covered. And then we believe it won't restrict initial subscribers because through a customer survey, they said they would willingly pay more than $50 for this app, but then we wanted to grasp a large market share in the very beginning, so that's why we lowered prices for the monthly payments and the initial fee.
Did you do any market research? Oh, thanks. Did you do any market research with large corporations like companies that own a fleet of vehicles, and what was their response?
Yes, we did. So Michelle can explain this to you.
So we contacted Audi, the product advisor and the executive director of BlackBerry, former executive director of the BlackBerry who installed softwares to cars, and the product advisor of the Mazda car company. And we asked if our app would work with their driver assistance program and if their market is available for us, and they said there is technology for their driver assistant program can connect to our app, and our app can control the signals of the driver assistant program through Bluetooth technology.
Great presentation.
Thank you.
How are you going to deal with the data that you're going to be collecting? I imagine you're going to have personal health care data that might be of interest to insurance companies and others. How are you going to deal with that? And what is Cicer? What does it mean?
Pardon?
Oh, Cicer means pulse in Latin.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
So our marketing plan is to connect with the insurance companies because they will be interested in advertising our app because our app will decrease the amount of car accidents and also the casualties. So they will be definitely interested in us in our app.
Also, you asked what we would do with the data collected, right? So the data collected is basically for the driver's own record, and so it would say we would record how many hours they are driving and their just regular pulse pulses, which is already capable on your smartwatch that I see you wearing. And then for Apple, it is by default set to measure your pulse for every 5 minutes, but you can also change this setting to for measuring it constantly, which is what our watch will do when you turn on our app and set it to the driving mode. And also for other watches like Fitbit, it is always constantly measuring your heartbeat. So we are not like taking more data from them and using it, but we are just getting what the watch and the car already does, and we're just adding on to it to make sure they are safe.
Question, please. Great work, by the way. Why does it cost $1.8 million to develop the app?
So this is a very new concept that we're taking the features of a smartwatch, Blue technology, and self-driving or driver assistant program equipped cars, and we're combining all these technologies, and we're creating something where we can make positive changes and protect the safeness of the drivers. So it is a very new technology, and then although some people have tried this technology, their focus is very different from us, whereas ours is like preventing, minimizing accidents caused, and then making the car go by itself or stopping instead of crashing into anywhere else. So because it's a new technology, we estimated that it would be $1.8 million. And then when we talked to a technological person from Finger Food Studios, they said it would cost around $1.4 or $1.5 million to build this app.
Hi there, guys. Great presentation. I would ask Finger Food to do it a bit cheaper.
Okay.
So a question I have around the technology, the devices, you're going to rely very heavily on the device itself, and one particular challenge with smartwatches is the battery life. Have you thought about that challenge and how to overcome that?
So we did have that question brought up, and then when we did our research, it did say that the app is like I've mentioned, Apple Watch already measures your pulse by default at every 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or you can set it to measuring it constantly. And Fitbit is already doing constant measuring pulses. And Xiaomi, which is another biggest, one of the large another company that owns a large market share of the smartwatches, is also constantly measuring your pulse. And then it does not run out your battery life. It's like your Apple Watch doesn't run out after 30 minutes, right? And then it's not like, and then when our app is on, you will drive for, so our target is just everyday normal drivers, and the longest hour you might drive is 6 hours or so, and then you might take a break so you can charge your smartwatch too, right?
I have a very quick question. Technology risk question. Driver-assisted systems have been in the news lately over their possibility of being hacked. Would your technology, reliant as it is on external devices, like the smartwatch, increase the possibility of such a hack?
No, because our app is not going deep into their software or anything. Our app is just doing the Bluetooth connection, like how your phone would connect to your phone when you go into your car, when you enter your car, and you can make phone calls and listen to music on your car through your phone. It's like that's how our app would work with the phone Bluetooth connection.
Okay. Great presentation, guys.
Thank you so much.
Oh, question over here. So you mentioned that you're going to have your subscription based on people that drive short distance and those that drive long distance, correct?
Yeah, short, moderate, and long.
Long, yes. How are you going to ensure that people don't just go with the cheapest and lie to you and say, yeah, I drive short?
Yep, so going back to that slide. So it says the drivers would be charged extra $1 for every 30 minutes they go over their plan, and this they would agree to terms when they register. And on our app, it would say how many hours are remaining in your plan. And for every hour, every 30 minutes they go over, we would charge them extra $1.
So I'm assuming that when a driver starts a trip, then they're going to turn on to say, I'm starting a trip. And then you'll be able to then determine
Yep. So when they start driving, they would turn on our app on their smartwatch first, and then they would say that they're driving, and we would tell them how many hours you have left, and then it would constantly measure the pulse from then. And then when the driver is like falling asleep, the watch will start to go off and alarm and vibrate. But if the driver is unconscious or having a heart health issues, then it would take the path that we have explained earlier.
Thank you guys so much. That's all the time we have.
Thank you.